Goldylocks Productions provides professional internet, TV, and radio shows in the spiritual and New Age genre.
Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Welcome back. It's Tuesday. Are you ready to choose something different for yourself? Are you really ready to choose a different way of life, a different way of being? Not necessarily a better way of life or better way of being, but it's something different, something that you haven't chosen for yourself, something that you keep putting on a bucket list and it's way down on the bottom like number 98 on your bucket list. Move that up to number 1 and number 2. Move that up to 0 and be right here, right now, and be present in the things that you choose for yourself today, right here in the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show on Tuesday. Aho shinawana honata, aho shinawana hey. But before we get started down that road, I'm going to sing in spirit because Spirit needs singing in, and I want to keep him in the loop with everything we do. Aho shinawana say. Once again, welcome back to the show. And before we get moving down the road, we're going to smudge the room. We're going to ask Creator to make us a clear channel that my producer Tiffany White Sage Woman and I would be a clear channel that all the computers and all the phone lines that we use, to broadcast this show would be clear of any bugs and any gremlins and any complaint of Mercury in retrograde, which we're already moving into the energies of, and that's something we're not going to give a lot of time to because it's just a distraction from where you want to go. I'm going to ask that my audience would be clear, my audience would be smudged, and they would be with clear intention about what it is that they want. Well, thank you for coming to another Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and I am your host. And if you'd like to call in, and I'm gonna ask that you call in, ask questions, take me to task on the things that I say. If you're looking for a reading, if you're looking for a healing, call in. I can do that for you. We can do that on the air. I don't have to be looking at you to have that conversation or do that for you. You can call in at area code 323-870-3791. Once again, that call-in number is 323-870-3791. And if you want to reach me outside of the show, you can reach me at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can go to my website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can give me a call at my office at area code 818-442-1717. Well, all right. Today we're going to be talking about something interesting because it's I usually talk about the things that happen in my life. And there's a lot happening in my life. There's a lot of transformation going on in my life: manifestation, transition, transmutation, transcendence. And what I want to talk about today is what love gives itself, and what does love give itself. And when I say what does love give itself, I'm talking about your self-love, the love for you, the love that you would like to give yourself, but sometimes you don't, or you don't know how, or you don't feel like you're deserving of. Excuse me, deserving of. And see how that happened? I'm talking about love. I'm talking about the heart space. I'm talking about air, lungs. I love unloved. The heart space. I'm talking about that thing. And what happens? I cough in the middle of it. That's where those things come from the heart space. Do you love? Do you have the capacity to love? Do you have the capacity and the ability to give yourself self-love, self-care, self-nurturance? These are important questions for me. because I, for a lifetime, did not know how to give myself these things. And if I didn't know, if I don't know, that means you may not know and you haven't known. Aho, aho shinawana, honata, aho shinawana, hey, aho, aho, aho. Oh, before we get started down that road, I have a listener, Sarah in Grafia, who always listens, and her little son Austin and her husband Anthony, and they're in Indiana. And I want to wish Sarah a happy birthday. She's usually listening today. She's usually dialed in, but she let us know that she was going to go out. She's having a Sarah day for her birthday. So happy birthday, Sarah. Say hi to little Austin and Anthony for me. For us, for Tiffany White Sage Woman, my producer as well. And I want to thank Tiffany White Sage Woman, my producer, for giving us a forum, giving people who are mediums, people who are healers, people who are medicine people, shamans, whatever you want to put label on these people who do these shows on Goldylocks Productions. I want to thank her and her husband and her family for giving us a place to do what it is that we do. You know, they're the springboard for us getting to know who you are and getting medicines to you that you may not be privy to. I hope. So, how do you love yourself? Do you love yourself? Can you love yourself? Should you love yourself? You know, there's a lot of people that say they love themselves, and then I watch, because I'm always watching. I watch what they do and I watch what they say, and it becomes evident that they've been domesticated in a way. We've been domesticated in a way that isn't good. That, you know, we think we're giving ourselves good things. We think we're nourishing our bodies. We think we're nourishing our minds and our souls and our spirits, and we're really not. You know, we're still living in that world of materialism. We're still living in the world that says, you know what, if I have this will improve my life. If I have that, this will make my life better. If I have that person in my life, I will be a more loving person. I will be a happier person. And sadly, that's really not the case. You can have all the toys in the world. You can have, as a man, all the women you want in the world, and as a woman, the right guy or the right man or whatever, Mr. Right Now, whatever that case may be. And that may not be the ticket. It won't be the ticket. It won't be the thing that makes you happy, because it doesn't change anything in your life. It just means you're looking for outside sources to make yourself happy, to give yourself love. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And I'm going to ask it in this way. Oishino, oishino, oishino. Are you ready? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to give myself things of love, things of encouragement, things of nourishment. I nourish my soul on a daily basis. I go out for hikes. I give myself good foods. I give myself good company. If company is not good for me, I don't hang out, because I'm not going to drink poison from other people. I'm just not going to do that. I am going to take the time to seek out those people who are good for me. Do you? Can you? Will you? Aho. Do you seek out people who nourish your soul, who nourish who you are, who edify you? Aho. 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 Yeah, that was a case for me this week. You know, there's somebody who found me on doing what I do, you know, on social media. And, you know, we met and we're becoming really good friends. And I love meeting people through what I do. In fact, Saturday, I was out on the land, on the rocks, on trails in a razor. I didn't know what a razor was. I thought a razor was one of the little scooters that you kick, you know, push. But one of my folks that follows me, Wendy, she lives here in North Phoenix, in Anthem, actually. And her and her husband, Jerry, came out with their daughter, Grace. And they gave me a call and they invited me to go out on the land with them and, you know, do a bunch of mud womping or whatever you want to call it, you know, 4-wheel driving. And I haven't done that since I was a teenager. So I went and I had a great time, met a new person who was a listener, who was a follower, who was, what can I call her? She's somebody who follows what I say, and she's a supporter. That's it. She's a supporter of my medicine and what I do, and you know, and it was a pleasure to meet somebody like that and their family, you know, and be able to sit down and break bread and have dinner with them, and you know, it was great. I'm new in Sedona, so the fact that people will come into town and will call on me is wonderful for me. You know, it feeds my soul. And do you feed your soul? Do you feed your soul instead of the whole? This show is about self-love. This show is about self-care. Can you, will you, do you? And I will ask you that question all day long. Can you, will you, do you give yourself the things necessary? Give yourself the things that make you smile, that make you love, that make you grow. I'm going to remind you that the call-in number is 323-870-3791. Give us a call and let's have a chat. Let us have a chat about what's going on in your life, And I don't necessarily use my life as a basis to pick subjects to talk about on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine show, but a lot of what I teach doesn't come from a book. In fact, most of what I teach doesn't come from the book. It comes from the experience of being the rooted and the fruited tree. I talk about that all the time. Once a week, I will say, I am rooted and I am fruited, and I extend my branches into the heavens, and the birds of the air nest in my branches and eat of my fruit. And what is my fruit? My fruit is my experience of how I got from point A to point B and how I share that with you. And you relate to that on whatever level you relate to. And it becomes medicine for you. And it becomes healing for you. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they call it one alcoholic talking to another. That's the rub. That is the rub. The experience of saying, me too. I had that experience. You too? Me too. Oh man, I can't tell you what that's like when you find somebody who resonates with what it is you're talking about. It's like finding a soulmate. It's like finding a twin flame. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this, and maybe you folks have heard me say this, but I don't believe in soulmates and twin flames. I just haven't. That's not been my experience. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's here. Who knows? We'll find out. And I had a teacher, Swami Nagilan, and I went to hear him speak one time, and he was talking about soulmates. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go and get the lowdown on soulmates. He is a Hindi monk, a devotee monk, and I went to go hear him talk, and he said this very important thing that stayed with me. And this was in the beginning of my medicine when I was starting to become an energy healer, and I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to sit down with teachers that would teach me things that meant something, not things that were just repetitive and just didn't really have any meaning at all. And he said this. He said, soul is so small. This is the soul seat. Soul is so small, you can't draw it with a pen or a pencil. It sits outside the body in the soul seat area, just outside the chest, actually just above your sternum. And he said, soul does one thing. Soul only has one purpose. And I was like, all right, here it comes. He's going to lay this on me. He said, soul only loves God. Soul only loves Creator, Great Spirit. And I heard that, and it was like somebody cracked my head open for the first time and let the egg yolk out, ran all over the place. It was the most amazing thing that I could hear. Soul only loves God. And I got to tell you, hearing that, I had to ask myself, what does that mean? Because I was raised in Catholicism, a lifetime of Catholicism, and then I moved into Protestant Christianity, and in the understanding of that, of the Christ consciousness, and learning about that, and that speaks a whole different other language, And what I had to do was undomesticate myself from that attachment to those things that were said, to those prayers that were taught to me, to that culture, which wasn't really a part of me. That was somebody else's culture. The Catholic culture was somebody else's culture. So I had to learn how to detach myself and find parts of that could interweave with the things I was learning, with my medicines, and how I was going to be with spirit in a good and different way. How are you with spirit in a good and different way? Are you still living in that old way of religion, in those old teachings, and you try to wrestle with them, or you do wrestle with them, and you ask yourself, what am I doing here? And you say to yourself, how do I overcome this? How do I live in my life when I feel like I feel, but this is what I believe? Can I let go of my beliefs? And the heart, your heart, lungs, air, I love, I'm loved. And your fire, your fuego, I can, I will, I do, and the connection to self from the water, from the second chakra, says to oneself and says, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I do. And my ears become bigger because I listen through my heart. I stop listening through my ears, but my ears become more advanced and they pick up radar and they pick up all kinds of things. And I get to hear things in a different way and learn different ways and receive different messages in learning how to be with spirit, learning how to be with creator, learning how to be with God in a way that's good and simple that I understand. Just like when I understood soul only loves God. Oh man, what an understanding that was. And what that meant was I got to understand creator, great spirit, God, if you will, if you want to call him that, universe, whatever you want to call it, that, it, her, the duality of Radhe Govind, Shri Krishna, the duality, or Mateo, the duality of creator, great spirit, and divine feminine, divine masculine. When my understanding of that exploded in me, and I was able to wear spirituality like a loose shirt. And I didn't have to abide by any rules that people were making up to control me or to extract money from me, because I really believe that that's what churches are for. Churches are a business. They're not about souls. They're about businesses, and they can say what they want to, but they're about money, because somebody in that pyramid at the top is making some bucks. I don't care which it is. So anyway, saying that, that's just my, well, nobody needs my opinion, because they say that opinions are like, you know what's, and whatever. So I will forget that opinion. I won't let's forget that was said, but it's already out there, so I said it. But what are you willing to do for yourself? What are you willing to give yourself? Where are you willing to go to get it? Do you feel shame when you go to a place that you want to learn something, or you want to go to a yoga class, or you want to go to a medium, or you want to go to a psychic, or you want to go to a healer, or you want to go to a sound bath, but you don't have anybody to go with because, what will they say? What will they think? Will they think that I'm weird? What is the case? And I will ask you, not only what is the case, I will ask you, what are you willing to feed yourself? Are you willing to feed yourself the same old thing, that same old tired gruel that we've eaten for a lifetime with no taste and no flavor and no salt, right? Are you willing to keep doing that and feeding yourself that? Or do you want to learn how to feed yourself something new? When I started my path, I didn't know anything about making drums. When I started my path, I didn't know anything about energy healing. When I started my path, I didn't know that I could go inside and download and channel what my guides and the spirit guides and the masters have to give me and teach me what they taught me in past lifetimes, because what I teach right here, right now, aren't the things that I learned in this lifetime, and I didn't learn them from books. I didn't learn them from something that I could thumb through and find an answer. There are lots of books like that, and I haven't written them yet. Because one of these days, I'm going to write down the things that I say and put it into a book, so you have an understanding of how a guy like me spends a lifetime spinning out there in the world of materialism, in the world of dogma, in the world of domestication, in the world of colonialism, and how one dog paddles around the water until I find the edge and I'm able to climb out of the water and shake myself off. You ever watch dogs do that when you put them in the pool? They dog paddle around until they can find a place they can get out, and then they get to on solid ground, earth, foundation, and then they shake themselves off. Doing some chi grading. And how many of you out there are uptight today? How many of you out there haven't done anything today to give yourself release, to give yourself a voice, to unblock the things that you've been holding on to for a week, a day, a minute, a lifetime? Have you? In fact, let's go ahead and put your feet on the floor, and I want you to take your hands and I want you to just shake them around. This is the hands of fifth chakra, and I want you to just kind of let your neck go, and I want you to just and allow the energy to flow and unblock those things. This is called chi grading. It doesn't matter how ugly you look, just do it into the screen or whatever you're watching or listening to this show on, and let go. Get your shoulders in there, get your neck in there, get your elbows and your wrists really loose, and just let that stuff go. Stop carrying it around like a prize, like a badge of honor. Like a badge of honor. Why do we carry those burdens around? There are people who walk around, and I know some that I'm related to, and they talk about their fate. Oh, it's my fate. Oh, it's my fate. They're victims. Oh, it's my fate. No, it's not. You can change your fate, and it doesn't have to be fate. It can be a choice. It's Tuesday. What are you going to choose? I purposely changed the way I spell Tuesday to Tuesday because I wanted to give myself the opportunity to make a choice, and make a choice for the good, make a choice for the better, make a choice for the different. Are you willing to be different? Are you willing to put on that same old gray suit that you put on year after year to go to the party? The same old gray suit. You know what? Buy yourself a yellow coat that shows you who you are and where you stand in the power of what you stand in. Buy a yellow coat with a big red flower on it or something, and maybe some white pants. I don't know. It's a big clown choosing a clown. I don't know. Anyways, what are you going to give yourself? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I waited a lifetime. To become walking crow. I waited a lifetime to stand in who and what I am and who and what I have always been. I waited a lifetime. You know how long that is? 57 years. 52 years, actually. 4 cycles. 4 cycles of 13 if you're based on the Mayan calendar. 13 and 13 is 26. 26 is an infinite number. In fact, I've been sober 26 years. 2 and 6 is 8. 8 is an infinite number. That's infinity. That's an infinite number. And it's a divine feminine number to boot. And then I moved into my 50s, and at 52, I became an elder. 4 cycles. 4 cycles. Wow. Her first half of my life, I learned to get to point B. And from point B, I'm going to go into being an elder. I am an elder, and, I'm going to live my life the way I live my life. The way my life should have been lived a long time ago. But people didn't know how to teach me that because they were too busy living somebody else's life. My mother was busy living my father's life. My father was busy living a drunken life. How many of you come from a place like that? How many come from a home that, that's so unstable, you want to explode? How many of you come from a home that's so unstable that you're too embarrassed or ashamed to talk about it? I'm not embarrassed and ashamed to talk about those things. I can't be, because my life depends on it. The life that I want for myself depends on it. And I want to live with myself in a good way. I'm not going to worry about what other people think about who I am and what I am and where I came from, because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of things that aren't talked about. And I've talked about being a child of desperation, not a child of love. I don't know how many of you have heard me talk about that. I don't know how many of you around the world, around this globe, have the same story as I do, where you have the drunk in the house and you have the enabler in the house, and they were both running from where they were running from, and bam, they ran into each other. And before you know it, they have 5 kids, and none of these kids is really being loved and shown what love is. Because everybody's busy hiding the secret about the drunk, and everybody's trying to live up to the spoken and unspoken expectation of the dangling carrot. Do you understand the spoken and the unspoken expectation of the dangling carrot? And I say to myself, I'm a child of desperation. I'm not a child of love. I am love in and of itself, in the purity of love, in the most loving form that I can be, because that's what I've been given as a spirit, as a free spirit, not as a child of David and Angie, but as a child of Creator Great Spirit, as a child of spirit, as a child of my spirit animals, as a child of my spirit guides, as a child of my teachers, as a child of the Christ consciousness, as a child of Kuan Yin, as a child of the Buddha, as a child of, you name it, you name them. But not of David and Angie. because they didn't know how to give me what it is that they never had. You can't give away what you haven't got. How are you going to raise kids to be good people if you're not sure what that is, because you come from crappy people? You know, I'm not saying that my grandparents were terrible, but how many of you have a story that you haven't told, or you're embarrassed or ashamed to talk about? I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to talk about it, but I've got family members that, they want to keep that secret. They want to sweep it under the rug. But what will you give yourself? Will you give yourself freedom from the freedom of bondage, from the freedom of hurt, from the freedom of shame, from the freedom of wounds, by opening your mouth and coming out of the goo and coming into the ru, and stop spinning on those stories, because those stories haven't happened for a lifetime, but you're still living on the mileage of those stories that don't serve you. How would you call that love for self? Is that self-love, and is it nurturing? Answer me. Is it self-love, and is it nurturing? And I want to remind you on that note, 323-870-3791 is the call-in number. Call in. Tell me what you think about what it is that I'm saying. Are you a child of desperation? Are you a child of love? Do you even know what that means? Or if you are, or if you aren't? We should all ask ourselves that question. What am I a child of? What have I been a child of? And what I don't want to do, and I've done it 3 times in my life, is I don't want to run to somebody else, escaping from wherever it is that I came from. I will not do that again. I did it 3 times, was married 3 times, and I won't do that again. Are you willing to keep giving yourself the same old tired relationship, the same old thing that doesn't work for you because you have a mommy issue or because you have a daddy issue? Live with the daddy issue. Live with the mommy issue. Talk about those things, and talk about the way those things are part of your makeup, and how they've hurt you, and how they've made you stronger, and how they've been a part of your transition or transformation, whatever they've been. But speak on those things whole, because holding the information up here and spinning in the goo of the darkness, when you could be in the ru of the light, will save your life, and it'll allow you to bring light into the darkness of maybe somebody else's world, and vice versa, without having to be sucked into a relationship and say, well, red flags, but I can fix him. Red flags, but I can fix her. That doesn't have to happen. That absolutely doesn't have to happen. We can make choices. And my friend, hold on a sec. My friend Sarah Portman just logged on. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Thank you for coming aboard. Good to see you, honey. She's in this rainbows. And, Sarah's somebody that was reached out to me, and I reached out to Sarah, and we have conversations. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being my friend. And what will you give yourself? I know Sarah's giving herself good things because I follow her. I read what she writes, and I know what she's doing. Just like what I'm doing every day when I do a video and I talk about particular subject matter. I talk about those things because I have walked through those things, and I've either overcome or I'm working through those things, whatever it looks like. So I become the medicine that you're seeking. I become the medicine that you want, because you're the medicine that I want. I want to be clear. There are teachers out there that don't even know they're teachers to me, and they are clear to me. Everybody, let's take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Put your feet flat on the floor and take a breath in again. Hands on your thighs. Inhale and exhale. And one last time, take a breath in. Inhale and exhale. How good does it feel to check in with your body? And how often do you take the time to do that? Do you check in with your body? Do you give yourself the breath of life? Or do you avoid breathing? Do you avoid yourself at all costs? Tell me, do you give yourself the breath of life? Because when you're going through stressful times, whether you're at work or you're at home, or You can take a moment and go into the closet or go into the bathroom or go into another room and stop and just check in with yourself. Check in with Mother Earth. Allow your perineum to plug in. Allow her energies to flow through your body. Hey, and take a breath and check in with yourself. Where did that breath land? Did it land on your heart? Did it land on your sternum, on your fire? Did it land in your water? Did it land in your root? Did it land in your third eye? Did it land in your voice? Did it land in your crown chakra, where you open up to God, universe? Where did it land? How will it land? And can you? Will you? Do you? I want to remind you that you can reach out to me if you want to have a mentoring session or a coaching session or a healing session or a drumming session, or you want to find out where I'm going to be doing any sort of shamanic work or healing work, because I'll be traveling actually next week in Los Angeles and up to Santa Barbara. You can reach out to me at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can find me at my website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can give me a call at area code 818-442-1717. But for now, call into the show at 323-870-3791. Are you ready to ask a question? Are you ready to reveal that secret that you've been holding on to for so long? It's that thing that keeps you from yourself. It's that thing that keeps you from your lover. It's that thing that keeps you from your mother. It's a thing that keeps you from your father. It's a thing that keeps you from your brother, your sister, your coworker, your friend. You can't let them know, because if they know that I did this or that I went through this, they may not love me. And let me tell you right here, right now, they will love you regardless, because there will be, I guarantee you, a me too in there. And they will say, oh, I went through that too. And what will happen is you will find healing, you won't find feeling, but you will find healing in the relating of the stories of where you went and how you came back and what you did and who it was you talked to and how it went for you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. I'm ready to give myself love. In fact, I'm ready to step back into a relationship, and I don't know I know what the field looks like out there. And, I'm ready to make that move, but I'm not going to I'm not asking for it to landslide for me, because, I'm sure that's out there too. But I'm just saying, I'm ready for a relationship, not because I want a relationship so I can feel good about myself. No, I'm ready for a relationship because I am good with the relationship with Anthony J. Rodriguez, Walking Crow. I'm good with the place that I am. I'm good with the person that I am. I'm good with the soul and the spirit that I am. Are you good with those things? Are you ready to be able to give of yourself because you can, because you're fulfilled, because you're full, because you're filled? Are you ready? Do you want to? Do you have the capacity to give yourself the care, the nurturing, the self-love that you've wanted for a lifetime from somebody else, but you won't even give it to yourself? Give it to yourself first. Become that person that just loves. Become that person that just wants to, be there for yourself. I got to tell you, this morning I slept in, and then went out for an acai bowl, drove across town, took the dog for a walk. Chewy, my roommate here has a dog named Chewy, and he's a great little dog, and took him out there and did his thing. And, I get to share that time with Wolf. I call that Wolf medicine. That's dog. It's loyalty. Wolf is solitary. I am solitary, but I need the pack. I also need the pack. I want to be loved from the pack, and I want to love the pack. I want to be able to give what I've got, and what I've got is a lot. Do you want a lot? Do you want to be able to give of who you are without being afraid? Do you want to give of who you are? What is the love that you give yourself? What is the love that you want to give yourself? How does love give to itself? Is what this show is called today. How does love give to itself? And are you able to look in the mirror and see yourself and see love? Or Do you look in the mirror and see shame? Do you look in the mirror and see, hurt? Do you look in the mirror and see and hear those words that ring in your ear from an old lover, an old marriage, an old relationship, an old upbringing, time in school? Are you hearing those things? And what are you willing to listen to really? What are you willing to let go of? Will you be willing to let go of those things that you hear because they don't serve you, baby? They don't serve you at all. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to give yourself the care and the self-love and the self-nurturance that you so have deserved? Oh, say. And you do deserve it. And you need to stop telling yourself, or you should stop telling yourself that you don't, because you do. I was told for a lifetime, about what I was and blah, blah, blah. Those old stories fall on deaf ears with regards to Anthony Rodriguez. I don't listen to that stuff. I don't have the time of day for it, because there are people out there who care about me. There are people out there who love me, not because they have to, not because I'm their son, not because I'm their child, not because I'm their relative. They care about me and they love me because I'm fair to them. I'm honest with them. I'm transparent with them. I don't have any other way to be. I've run the gamut, and I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of not being. I'm tired of not even being able to live up to the potential that I have always been able to live up to, but didn't know how to. So now I live up to my potential. Is it the potential that others would have had for me? No. And good, because others do other things. I have a brother who is, he's retired from the auto industry. He worked for GM. I have a sister who, I don't know, she works for Kaiser or something, and another sister who works for UCLA, and I have a brother who works for the city of Los Angeles. And those are great things, the great noble things to do. And, but why do you do them? Do you do them because it's just about money, or do you do them because it makes you feel good, or do you do it because I have to go to work and I have to, why do you do the things that you do for yourself? Is it for your family? Is it for your kids? And I'm not saying having those jobs or doing those things there's something wrong with that. It just wasn't for me. I was in sales. I worked in the technology field, in sales, and I was part of a sales chain that was eliminated because it wasn't necessary anymore. I want to remind you that you're listening and watching the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And we're talking about what love gives itself. And what does love give itself? Let me know what you give yourself when you want to give yourself self-love, when you want to give yourself self-care, when you want to give yourself self-nurturance. Type it in or call in at area code 323-870-3791. How do you want to give yourself those things? Are you willing, or are you capable? Or are you living in the wound of all the I can't, or you can't, or you shouldn't, or you better not, or because we're not taught to achieve greater things. Some people are, but for what purpose? What is your purpose? I know what my purpose is. My purpose is about helping others. My purpose is about helping Anthony, me first always. And if I can't help me, I can't help you. So help me, help you. Hey. It's a beautiful time. And you're going to get the perfect opportunity this week, to stand in your power. You're going to get this perfect opportunity this week, not to run around like Chicken Little, because it's coming. We're already in the energies of the eclipse. We're already in the energies of the Mercury in retrograde. Everybody likes to talk about Mercury in retrograde. But if you understand retrograde, you can understand what it means to slow down, back up, and go inward and look at the playing field from a different place. Take yourself out of the fishbowl and look into the fishbowl in a different way. How do you survey your landscape? How do you survey what it is you want for yourself, where it is you're going. How are the fruits and the abundance of your fields growing? Or are they being decimated by fear? Are they being decimated by not having it, for the fear of not having enough water to water your fields? To nourish, to nurture. First medicine is water, emotion. Do you nurture your emotion? Do you water your fields? Or do you fear them? Do you run from them? Do you stay out of those dark, scary places? And I'm going to tell you about the dark, scary places. You ever notice in the presence of light during the day, there's no darkness. You can't see darkness. You can see shadows, but that's not the same thing. But if you go into a room and you turn off all the lights and you make it dark in that room, you will see light leaking in to the room through the blinds, through curtains, through under a door, through a crack in the door, through a skylight or whatever the case may be. You will see light always trying to make its way in. Are you ready to allow your light to make its way in? Or are you just too afraid to not be able to go there? Are you too busy putting stock in what other people might think, what other people might say, what other people might do, what other people, might whatever? Because this is what we traditionally do. We fear others for some reason because of the way we were domesticated. I do not want to fear people. I do not want to fear situations. I refuse. I will not. I am not afraid. My name is Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow, and I stand in the power of who and what I am and who and what I have always been. And that's what just came out of my mouth is part of that. A year ago, when I went to Maui, I didn't speak this way. But when I came back, I was speaking this language that I didn't understand, which my Navajo brothers and sisters tell me, or they say it's called the spirit language. So I say, okay. And a grandmother who I met about 3 months ago said to me, do not say no to this language. Say yes to it, regardless of what anybody thinks or what anybody says. So I do. And amazingly enough, I've written a few songs, three songs in that language, and whatever that language is, and I have a meaning for some of those words, and I know what those words mean. The song that I sang at the beginning of this show, hey, 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 na, na, hey, na, na, hi, oh, that means, and it's about bringing spirit in. Great Spirit, I am here, I am ready, I am here, I am here, I am here, I am here. Great Spirit, I am here, I am ready, I am here. What a great way to call out. Oh, what a great way to call out. And did I know that when I first sang that song for Ian Morris, Listening to Smile? No, I didn't. In fact, the only reason I sang that song and wrote that song was because he sent me music and asked me to put some lyrics to that song. And that's what came to me. Oh, that's what I channeled. That's what's being channeled to me. And saying that, I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to ask you to tune in next week because Ian Morris of Listening to Smile is going to be live with me on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show next week. Are you ready for some good stuff? Man, Ian is the most amazing guy. He creates some of the most amazing music, and he's in contact and involved with an amazing team around the world of people who use his music for different ways of healing and different ways of being. And it's an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. So tune in next Tuesday to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with myself, Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow, and Ian Morris of Listening to Smile. And if you tune in, you'll be able to hear that song that I talked about that him and I did together. And we'll share that with you and what it was like to hear the feedback and to know that song is affecting so many people and having an effect on people's lives as I continue to sing it at all my events when I sing Spirit in, just like I did at the beginning of this show. So what will you give yourself? What does love give itself? Excuse me. I'm getting dry mouth because I'm just talking and talking and talking. What does love give itself? What does love show itself? What will love look like? And how does it speak to itself? How do you speak to yourself? Do you give yourself poison? Do you lift that glass to your mouth where it says, poison, and you drink it anyways? Or do you see that and you know what it is and you avoid it? Who do you spend time with? Excuse me. Who do you spend time with? What is it that you listen to? What kind of books do you read? Do you spend time watching television? Do you spend time watching violent movies? I don't, and maybe I'm a wet blanket, but I don't go to the movies because I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see any of that stuff because there's enough of it in our world, and it's being perpetrated on us by well-meaning people. Well-meaning people. You know what they say about the road to hell is? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And guess where I'm not going? I'm not going to hell. I've lived through hell. And I don't have to give myself that anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. Are you willing and are you ready to give yourself something different? What will you give yourself that you call love? What will you give yourself that you won't call shame? That you won't call retribution? That you won't call fear? You don't have to live in fear. I'm proof of that. I fear nothing. I fear nobody. Why should I? Why would I? They may come get me tomorrow for the way that I speak, for the way that I talk, for the messages that I carry, for the medicines that I share. But who cares? I've lived a good life. I've lived a dumb life. The first part of my life was, I did some pretty dumb things, and I was mired in drug addiction and alcoholism. But, I found my way out, and I was shown my way out. And I'm here to help you. If you want the help that you really would like to have, reach out. Reach out to 323-870-3791 and say, I need help. Type into your computer, I need help. I want help. Anthony, help me. Show me. Direct me in the way that I can move away from the way that I feel, from the way that I've been living my life, because I don't like me anymore. I don't like it anymore. Do you want to manifest something different? Do you want to manifest something better? Do you want to manifest transcendence, transition, transformation, transmutation? Oh, the 4 T's. The 4 T's. Do you, can you, will you? Oh, I was told that I couldn't. And there was people who preyed on me while I was coming up in my medicine. There was people who were saying things to me that weren't kind, that weren't loving, and they were the people that were teaching me how to do particular things. And I'm going to talk about this because this needs to be talked about. I was going to an energy healing school, and they would say to me, Anthony, we need male teachers here, and we think you should be one of the male teachers here. Well, all right. Well, if to become a teacher here, you have to take this course, these courses, and these courses cost X amount of dollars. I'm like, oh, this is about X amount of dollars. Well, and I would say to them, thanks, but I'm really thinking about the path of shamanism. And I really didn't know what that meant at the time. Honestly, I didn't know what that meant. But they said to me, no, you need to take these classes so you can teach here. And what I said to them was, well, I already teach, and I don't necessarily need to teach here. Why do I need to take those classes? And it was about money. And I started to take those classes, and I left. I couldn't do it because the way I was being talked to when I was doing things within the realm of healing, I would go over and put my hands on somebody who needed the help, and somebody would come up to me and say, oh, don't touch that person. You don't know what you're doing. Well, I just paid you an X amount of money to give me a certificate to teach me what I'm doing. What are you talking about? What am I willing to give myself? I could have stayed there and said, you know what? I'll eat this. I'll eat raw, and I'll hang around and I'll do this because, I'll show them. I don't need to show anybody anything. So I left, and I went my own way, and I do things the way that the guides show me, that my teachers show me, my spirit guides and my spirit animals show me, the archangels show me, the guardian angels show me, all my guides, Papito, my grandmother Carmen, Mowgli, the way Mowgli shows me, and all those that are with me. My guides from Hawaii, my guides from the Incan lands, maybe Peru, I can't say. But those guides show me, those guides teach me, those guides will teach me more than those people who want me there for their money. They want to be paid. It's like, no, sometimes it's not about money. There's people who come see me sometimes, and it's not about money. It's about they need the help. There's a young lady in Los Angeles that I'm probably going to see while I'm there. She's got cancer. Again, it's her second round of cancer. So I told her I was going to be there, that I would like her to come see me. And, that's what I'm going to do. And I have another cancer patient that I'm going to see on Thursday. And, this is what we do. We put ourselves out there for those. And can I help them with the cancer? Yes. Can I help them with the cancer? No. Can I help them with the cancer? Maybe. It's not my business to know if I can help them with it or not. It's my business to facilitate and show up and be there 100% and set the intention for them and show up for them, because they are the ones that are going to cure themselves, heal themselves. I'm going to walk them through that whole. And this is what we do. It's not about, thousands of dollars so I can teach somebody something. I gave myself something different. I gave myself loving ears to listen to the guides. I gave myself loving ears to listen to somebody like Tiffany White Sageman, my friend Ingrid Turner, Ian Morris, and many others who've come into my path. My friend Donna from Great Britain, Donna McGinnis, she's an amazing psychic medium, and she's very helpful to me, and she's my friend. And these are people who've come in. My friend Emma Molina Enriquez, my grandmother Martha from the Church of Truth in Pasadena. What is it that I want? What is it will I allow in my life? And these are people who had had hard, tough lives, and they learned the lessons of walking through, of coming to and transitioning and transforming and transcending and transmuting. Can you, will you, do you? What will you give yourself? What does love give itself? Will you give yourself something loving? And I'm going to ask this again, or will you continue to give yourself those things that just don't serve a whole? Anthony at sacreddrummedicine.com. Reach out to me and set up a session with me, a mentoring session. There are people who do that. There are people who won't do that. There are people who can't do that. And it's a shame, because they're busy judging themselves, and you don't have to. You don't have to be out there doing a colon cleanse because you don't know how to be in your body. You don't have to be out there doing a probiotic because you have intestinal problems, because you don't know how to be in your root. You don't know how to be in your foundation. You don't know how to be in your water, your connection to self and connection to others. You don't have to give yourself cigarettes. You don't have to give yourself pot. You don't have to do those things because you don't know how to say, will you love me? Can you help me? Will you be my friend? Do you have a minute? No, but instead you'll give yourself that and put that through your fifth chakra, which you don't use, and you'll put something into your lungs that doesn't serve you and that will help you to die in a quicker, faster way and manifest cancer. It helps you manifest cancer. Did you hear me? Cancer. Because I can, sir, and I am clean, and I am healthy, and I am in the root of my body, and I don't give myself junk. I will not give myself junk. I give myself love. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oishi no, to give yourself love. Tell me yes. I want to know that you want to give yourself the best that you can give yourself, the best of the best, so you can catapult yourself into a fourth dimension or the fifth dimension right out of the third. Boom. My friend Tiffany White Sagewoman talks about the fifth dimension all the time. And that's where I'm going. Oh, say it. Oh, 5D world. I am an avatar. And I had a conversation with a young man the other day, 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. A young man named Ryan. He's an avatar. And he needs help in his feet. He needs help in his ground. And I told him I would help him if he wants that help. He hasn't called me. But I related to him on the level of being an avatar, on the space that we need to be in, that I want to be in, with him, with myself, and with others. Aho. 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 323-870-3791 is a call-in number. Give us a call, or reach out to me in another way. Reach out to me at my office at area code 818-442-1717. What does love give itself? And what does it look like when it gives itself? Whatever it needs, whatever it wants, whatever it would like to have. Not everything is going to come into our lives the way we want it to. It shows up in different packages. It shows up in different ways. It does. I'm living proof of that. I'm an example of those things that come and go, and sometimes it's just not the way that I want it. Sometimes it's not the way that I want it. So so I leave home and I go to Sedona, and I come to Sedona and I live a different kind of life. And people are starting to find me here. People are starting to merge with me and work with me in ways that I want to do, that I want to work. I'm going to give myself that. I'm going to allow those people to come into my life and work with me that way. Will they all work out? No. Will it all be good? I don't know. Don't care. But if I don't ever try, I won't ever know. So I give myself those things, as an opportunity. Give yourself those things that are opportunity. Don't keep feeding yourself poisons out of desperation, out of a hurt, out of a wound. You only have so much time on this earth. And do you want to come back to keep fixing those things over and over and over again in repair, or in disrepair, or in disarray? No. I've been able to share this week and over the last couple of weeks a lot about my experiences of how I've transcended through situations in my life that really just, it really kept me from moving forward. They really hurt me in a lot of ways. But there are also situations that helped me be catapulted into a fourth dimension, because I was able to see them clearly with my heart and with my eyes, and speak about them and transcend and transmute. So my life is different now. I've sought out the shamans, I've sought out the healers, I've sought out those people who can say, Anthony, have a seat. My friend, Master Seal. In fact, speaking of which, Master Seal, I miss having lunch with you. We have lunch. We were having lunch once a week or once every couple of weeks, and we would just sit, two guys just talking, but not how guys normally talk. We would talk about life and how we get from point A to point B. And he's an amazing healer. He's an amazing teacher. He's an amazing master. He's my master, Master Seal. He's a teacher of mine. I love you, Master Seal. I love Emma. I love Deborah. And I love all those who have come into my life and have honored me by saying yes. And I also love those who have come into my life and honored me by saying no. Because sometimes Creator Great Spirit says yes. Sometimes Creator Great Spirit says no. Sometimes Creator Great Spirit says wait. Are you willing to wait and be patient and stand still and give yourself what it is you can give on that spot, in that place? Be in the gift of your presence. Be in the gift of your presence. What will you give yourself? Walk, don't run. I ran through life for a lifetime, and I tripped and fell and blundered through a lot of it. And I don't have to do that anymore. I am not in a hurry. I am not in a fury. I am here, right now, ready and willing to wait for wherever it is Creator Great Spirit would have me go. For whoever it is Great Spirit would have me work with. For whatever it is Great Spirit would have me say yes to. Yes to. I'm going to give myself love because I deserve love, because I am love. I am love. Are you love? And do you know how to be love in the purest form without an expectation of what you can, or of what you can get out of it for giving it? Because there should be no expectation with regard to return for being a loving, caring, nurturing person, other than being a loving, caring, nurturing person. That's it, and that's all. And with that, I want to remind you that you're listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show and watching the Transformational Sacred Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And this show has been about what does love give itself? Oh, what does love give itself? And what will you give yourself? I look forward to seeing you next week when my guest will be Ian Morris of Listening to Smile. And I can't wait to have Ian grace our presence because he is such a fantastic teacher and a fantastic master and a fantastic practitioner of healing, an example of healing in the light. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and this is a Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine saying thank you for coming and have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Tuesday.